I've been thinking a lot lately about doing no harm. And it's a concept that when you really give it serious consideration becomes very powerful and will cut through you like a razor. At least that has been my experience. The more I think about it, the more challenging it becomes, to the point of where I almost feel like it's not worth getting out of bed, because I know the moment I do, I will inadvertently harm something. Um, as vegans, we have taken a huge step towards doing no harm. I mean, there's three aspects really to doing no harm, and that is doing no harm to yourself, doing no harm to others or other living creatures, and doing no harm to the planet or the environment. And as vegans, we've, to a great extent, fulfilled those three areas in terms of doing no harm. To some extent, we've made a big step. And if everybody were to become vegan and follow a plant-based diet, there would be a huge improvement in the quality of life on an individual level, on a social level, and on an environmental level. So, yeah, I mean, and that's one thing, I guess, when I became a vegan, I gradually became aware of the contribution that I'm actually making here, that this wasn't just for personal health, but I was actually making a contribution towards doing no harm to other living creatures and to the planet. However, that doesn't mean the job is done, that I'm there, I've arrived. I still do a lot of harm. And as long as I live in this industrial and technological civilization that we all live in, I will continue to do harm. And this is where I find it rather difficult to come to a simple solution. I mean, think about this, okay? Even as a vegan, how often do you buy your greens in a plastic container? Or how many packaged goods do you buy? And in the last year, let's say you had no way of getting rid of your garbage. You had to keep it on your property. How much garbage would you accumulate over a year? And it's pretty significant. Now, you could say, well, there's recycling, and that is true, but that requires energy. And it produces a byproduct as well that does harm. It's almost like everything we do in our civilization causes a measure of harm. I mean, even this iPod here, you think about like how this thing was put together. You ask yourself how much harm was involved in putting this iPod together. There's right from the minerals that were required to be extracted from the earth, to the labor involved in making this iPod. How much harm was actually involved? This shirt I'm wearing, where was it made? Was it made in a sweatshop somewhere in Bangladesh where people are required to work under severe, harsh conditions for maybe just a couple of dollars a day? How much suffering has this shirt caused so that I can wear it? And I could go on and on and on. It never ends. Everything, my car, all of this. I don't have a simple solution to this. It's rather daunting to contemplate. But it's an awareness that, wow, if we don't do something as humans, I mean, becoming vegan is a huge step and will make a big difference to the planet. But we've got to go further than that. It's like our whole civilization needs an overhaul. And where do you begin? I don't have the answers to this. This is something that I'm exploring right now. And other than just completely escaping this and going somewhere where I can live and do as little as harm as possible, because, as a living creature, it's impossible to do no harm. And it's something that I was aware of when I was in the jungle in Costa Rica. Was at first, you're taken by the beauty of nature, but at closer observation, you realize that it's very violent. There's a lot of violence involved in the life of nature. And, but here's the thing. The level of harm that's being done in a natural environment seems to be balanced. It's not in excess. Whereas humans, we tend to do everything in excess. We go way over the extreme. And it's like the way our economy is set up is that it profits off harm. So harm is almost desirable. I mean, just look at the war machine and look at war. It's a whole industry. The reality is the level of harm that we are producing in our civilization today has reached a critical point. And we as vegans are participants of it as well. And I don't have any simple answer, any solution. I would love to have a solution to this. But if we don't do anything, the ultimate harm will be upon us. And it will be catastrophic. And so I guess, on a personal level for myself, I'm embracing this principle of doing no harm. And on a daily basis, I'm learning how to follow it. And it's difficult. And it's going to take years to shed certain behaviors that have been harmful. But that's my aim, that's my goal, to do no harm.